Hi there guys, welcome to Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures on YouTube on this crisp Friday morning, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be the number 5 from Dudley to Kingswinford, which was operated by NXWM and has recently been taken over by Diamond Bus. Now, Diamond Bus has recently taken over a lot of the tendered routes across the West Midlands. This includes the ones across Stourbridge, like the extension of the 142 onto the 28, the 1428 to replace the 298 Stourbridge circulars, and also the 17 from Stourbridge up to Dudley, along with the 57 to Wallheath Briarscroft. And they've also taken over the 18 from Maryhill to Dudley through Cradley Heath and Neverton, meaning Diamond is now back in Neverton. 250-251 has become the 25 from Stourbridge up to Dudley, replacing part the 11A that used to run Walsall to Maryhill. It only runs Walsall to Dudley, and now that's operated by Oak-Pensnett depot. And they've also brought back the 17H route to Halsowing, because if you remember, Diamond used to do that route previously when it was the 17, but NXWM changed it to the 17H due to the fact at the time they had a 17 on their Dudley network, so they had to put the H on to save, so it avoids confusion with the Dudley to Stourbridge 17. And of course they also did the 17A, and now that's run by Diamond along with the 17S, which is the school service. So today is going to be the number 5 to Kingswinford, and I will see you on the number 5 route leaving Dudley as we head for Kingswinford. Enjoy the journey. Okay then guys, we're now setting off from Dudley bus station on the service number 5 bound for Kingswinford-Manor Park, and I hope that you enjoy the journey. Okay, we are now coming off Fisher Street, where Dudley bus station is located, and we're going to go onto Castle Street. So this is Castle Street, and the next part we will be going on to is the Broadway at Dudley, and that comes off Tower Street, and then we're going to go onto Ednam Road, which is where Coronation Gardens is located. Then we're going to turn onto Priory Road, and then onto Priory Street, which crosses St James's Road and Stone Street. And then we're going to turn onto the B4176 Wolverhampton Street, and then go up the Inn Hedge. So we're going to go up the Inn Hedge, and then that's going to take us onto Stafford Street. Then after Stafford Street, we're going to go down the Wellington Road, and then we will go onto Swancote Road, then onto Holland Street, and then onto Russell's Hall Road, which will then take us onto Ashenhurst Road, which is going to take us all the way down towards the Bushyfields area, which will take us onto Bushyfields Road. Then we're going to enter the grounds of Russell's Hall Hospital. Then we're going to go onto High Street, the A4101, which is going to take us all the way down to High Oak at Pensnett. And then the next part, we're going to take the junction that is First Avenue onto Pensnett Trading Estate. And that is where the National Express West Midlands Pensnett bus depot is based. And if you remembered, I was at their open day in 2019, and that was a great show, apart from the rain, to be honest. But the Wolverhampton depot, which was last year, was the best one, because due to the fact it was a lovely sunny day and it was really lovely. The Wolverhampton depot open day was brilliant. So once we've gone from the Pensnett Trading Estate, we will be back onto the Dudley Road, past the Aldi, which used to be a Focus DIY shop, and then we're going to carry on until we get to the terminus at Manor Park in Kingswinford. So we'll be terminating our journey at Manor Park, from where the old 6x7 route used to terminate at. If you remember that, the 6x7, which used to be the Dudley to Kingswinford to Starbridge via Wordsley. So just sit back, relax and enjoy the journey. I will be narrating throughout most of the journey, so here we go, guys. Okay, we just come off Priory Street and we're now going to turn onto Wolverhampton Street. So we're now going to go onto Wolverhampton Street and then we're going to go onto the Inn Hedge. So we're now going to go onto the Inn Hedge. So here we go. We're now going up the Inn Hedge in Dudley. So we're now going up to the Inn Hedge. So this is the Inn Hedge. Now if you can look, if you turn round the opposite way, you would have seen the view of all the Dudley landmarks, like St Edmund's Church, well, the tower of St Edmund's Church, and you'd even see, well, you wouldn't see St Edmund's Church, well, you will see the tower of the Public Library and Town Hall, and then that clock tower above a historic building, well, not much of a historic building, and of course the castle, Dudley Castle. And if you looked on the left hand side, you'd see Top Church, which is known as St Thomas's. And then right in front, we'll be heading now onto Wellington Road. So we're going to be heading onto Wellington Road now. So we're going to be heading onto Wellington Road, and then that's going to take us down towards Russell's Hall. So we're going to be heading towards Russell's Hall, which is nearby. So we're going to be heading onto Russell's Hall next, and then we're going to go into the grounds of Russell's Hall Hospital before proceeding on to High Oak at Pensnett. So here we go. We're now going down Wellington Road. So we're now going down Wellington Road, so we've just gone past the site of the old Dudley Leisure Centre. So we're now going down. As you know, that's the only one of the leisure centres that's now closed, because they've now moved it to a new site in the centre of Dudley. If you remembered, there was another abandoned leisure centre, but that's now turned into waste ground, and that's the old Wire Forest Glades Leisure Centre, and that's based in Kidderminster. And that leisure centre used to have a fun pool with the wave machine and the slides. But however, the new centre, which is the Wire Forest Leisure Centre out on the 15A and 15C route, doesn't have any water slides or any wave machines, sadly, because that's more like a 25 metre pool. So anyway, we're now turned off Wellington Road, so we're now going to head towards the Russell's Hall estate. So we're now heading towards the Russell's Hall estate, and so we're now heading towards the Russell's Hall estate. So we just crossed a mini roundabout, well, some kind of roundabout, and we're now paired up with the 2s, which used to be the 222, the Dudley, the Wren's Nest to Merry Hill. But however, the 222 didn't run to Wren's Nest, he only ran as far as Dudley. When it was the 222, he even used to run to Hales Owen in the past as well. But however, the 222 was also to be known as the 222. So we're now going on Russell's Hall estate on the Ashenhurst Road. And the 5 used to be the 205 when it was run by NXWM. NXWM did the 205 on the daytimes, Monday to Saturday. Diamond used to do the 205 service on Sundays, but sadly in 2019 Diamond stopped running the 5 on the Sunday service, and that one ran to Woolheath. It was withdrawn because of the end of the tender contract. And also, it used to run to Blackheath back in the day, the 205 did, when it was under Travel West Midlands. But sadly, that had to be cut back. And NX, they used to, I believe this used to run every half an hour, but then it was reduced to hourly in 2018, following the arrival of the extension over to Gornal Wood. And as you know, this route was a convenient service. It was even a handy link to access the trading estate from the Dudley area, because Merry Hill has the trading estate access from the X10 route. So here we go, guys. We're now going through the Russell's Hall estate. When it was back in the good days of Travel West Midlands, they used a Wright Crusader bus, and I really liked the Crusaders. They were just like the VDL SB200 Commander buses, same body but just a different motor. So they used a fleet of those, and they even used as well. So they've had a lot of Crusaders on that route in the past when it was the good days of travel. They also used Mercedes vehicles as well, if you remember the good days when Travel West Midlands used to use the Mercedes buses, and they were lovely buses back in the day. But sadly, those Mercedes have gone. A few of them have been preserved. And if you also remember, Diamond used to do this in the past as well, to Blackheath, but they withdrew that contract to NX years ago. It is a shame though that you'd see certain routes go, the 205, and that was a great service, the 205 was. But however, it's the same route as the number 5. So anyway, we're now coming into Russell's Hall Hospital. So we're now coming into Russell's Hall Hospital now, which is right here now. And it's really great that these services link up with hospitals, etc. Like the number 5 goes to the Queen Elizabeth on the south of Birmingham. And it's like Worcester, they've got some good hospital links to the Worcestershire Royal Hospital. Kidderminster has its link to the Kidderminster General Hospital, and Redditch has its did have a link to the Princess of Wales Hospital in Bromsgrove, but they also have their link to their own hospital, which is the Alexandra Hospital. So that is great that there's a good link to all these routes. And so there are some good handy links to each services that link up to these communities. And so anyway, we're now continuing on our journey. The 5 at one time, in 2019 up until early 2020, used to continue beyond Kingswinford to Stourbridge, meaning they cut out the Manor Park area, meaning Manor Park left isolated until early 2020, when the 5 reverted back to the terminus there. And the extension to Stourbridge was to replace the former Diamond Bus 267, which used to run Briarscroft Woolheath to Stourbridge, and then into work with the 657 to Kingswinford-Manor Park. The 657 changed to the 17A and was extended up to Woolheath Briarscroft, while the 5 served the Bellevue end. But that only lasted till early 2020. The 17A route, that was rerouted onto the old 17, which was known as the 257, while the 17A was renumbered to the 57, given that the fact that it had the number 57 with the 6 next to it when it was the 657, and it was a bit like the 311 and the 313 back in the old days as well, if you remember that. Back in the old days, the 311 and 313. So you had the 57, and while the 17 was rerouted onto the 5 route. And now that's run by Diamond Bus, so Diamond Bus is now covering that once again. So it's like the Diamond's got the old 267 back, but sadly that's now run from the Tividale depot, because due to the fact that it's part of the Tividale route, like the 226 and the 229s and all that. It's a shame it couldn't be run from Kidderminster though. So it would then interwork with the 57, but however the 57's a lot better on its own. But oh well, at least we get to see Tividale depot back. At least we get to see Tividale depot back in Stourbridge again. Sorry about that. The recording finished a little bit earlier. I just had to edit it just. So anyway, it's good to see Tividale back in Stourbridge since they used to do the 17A on nights. And so anyway, we're just now heading for Kingswinford now. So we're heading for Kingswinford. So we're now heading for Kingswinford on the number 5. So we're heading down to High Oak. So this is High Oak coming up now. So if you remember when Diamond used to do the 205, they did use a Volvo B7RLE with a Rod Eclipse urban body. So they have used a Volvo on the route in the past. But however, it's mainly street lights that do this route. And it's really good to see some street lights on this route now, because when NX did it, they used Volvo B7RLE Rod Eclipse urban bodies. They had Tridents on, they had Street Decks, Platinums. I think they had Platinums on. I know they had the 400 double MCs, and they've also used loads of different buses on this route. And yes, they did use Platinums, yes of course, when it was the 205. Not sure when it was the 5, I think they had Platinums on. And it was lovely when Pensnett had the Trident buses. I really love Trident buses, they're brilliant buses, lovely old bodies on them, but sadly Pensnett got rid of the Tridents. But Wolverhampton Depot still have a batch of Tridents, and the same applies with Walsall. I'm not sure about West Brom Garage, I think they still have Tridents there. Because as you know, Tridents are lovely buses. I really love Tridents. I really love the Tridents, they're really lovely buses to ride on. Especially but one of my favourite Tridents at Wolverhampton Garage, not only just the ones with the NX, with the Travel West Midlands Miquette seating, but one of my favourites at Wolverhampton Garage is of course the green one. The green Trident, which is 4535, and that is the one that carries the Wolverhampton Corporation livery. I do like the green one, that's my favourite Trident. So that's one of my favourite Tridents at Wolverhampton Garage. So I will be getting a ride on a few more Tridents very soon, hopefully, and hopefully to ride the green Trident, because that was one of my favourite buses on the fleet. So here we go, we're now coming down towards the trading estate at Pensnett. So we're now coming towards Pensnett trading estate. So there's T-Wall Garage, Vauxhall and Ford. So that's the Vauxhall dealership and the Ford dealership at High Oak, Pensnett. There's also a Vauxhall up Dudley as well. And there's also one on the number 6 route and the 17 when you come into Stourbridge. There's also one over at Halzowen as well. There's quite a few Vauxhalls around, and also there's actually a place named Vauxhall down London, and that's on the London Underground Victoria line. There's a lot of good car brands across Kingswinford Way. Well, there's quite a few car places across Kingswinford. So this is First Avenue, and then we're going to go on to Second Avenue. So, as you probably know, these are all where the businesses are, and of course you've got a Screw Fixer Greggs, and then of course you've got the NX Pensnett depot. You've got the Pensnett bus depot, which is based here. So you've got NX at Pensnett. So you've got the NX Pensnett depot. And that is where all the routes operate, with the likes of the 6s, the 9s, the 2s, also all the routes that run from Dudley bus station, apart from the 74s, the 1s and the 82s and the 87, because they're from separate depots. And of course the 11A's now joined Pensnett. The 12A's now gone to West Brom, due to the fact they were shared with West Brom in the past. So they might as well go to West Brom altogether, just like 13 and the 13A. And West Brom, they now put on Gemini buses, and I really love the Gemini buses. They're lovely buses. I love Geminis. I really like the Gemini buses at West Brom Garage, and also there's a fleet of them across Birmingham. And to be honest, I really love the Geminis. It's a shame Pensnett never went for any Geminis, because they are lovely buses. I really like the Geminis. I know Birmingham Central's got them hybrid Geminis, and Wolverhampton did have. Well, Wolverhampton had them originally when they used to come on the number 1 route, which is the Dudley to Tetnall Wood. And now that's worked by the Enviro 400s, but they're no longer hybrid buses. They've just been converted into standard. But they still have the next stop announcement technology. They used to have a different one, and then they upgraded it to the platinum voices. So they're now upgraded to the platinum voices, but sadly the ones on the Scanias, I don't think they work anymore, the ones at Walsall Depot, but because if they still work, they would have to have been upgraded to the platinum voice. They'd have to be upgraded to the platinum voice. It's a bit like a Reaver Sapphire 110 service when Birmingham to Tamworth. That used to have talking voice messages, but it doesn't anymore. But I know the Leicester ones have a few on their Pulsars. But however, the 110 is a great route from Birmingham up into Tamworth. I've been on the 110s in the past. I'm going to hopefully do it again this year, because I really like the 110. It's a brilliant route to go on, and I really like the 110, which is the Sapphire route. And hopefully to get back to Nuneaton. Hadn't been to Nuneaton for some time now, but I am looking forward to going back to Nuneaton, hopefully to get on Stagecoach. My first Stagecoach route of 2022, well, it was the only one, and that was the X18 from Stratford-upon-Avon to Coventry. I'm hoping to get on more Stagecoach routes again this year, because I love to get on some Stagecoaches again. I believe that the X18, yeah, it would have been my only one of 2022, but I'm looking forward to getting back on Stagecoach again. So anyway, welcome to Manor Park, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell below the YouTube channel to receive all notifications, and leave a comment below if you like the video. Until then, guys, thank you for watching. See you soon.